Dearest gentle viewers, this creator has observed your keen interest in the merriment and follies of the girly pops from Shondaland. But in order to attend the balls and be undressed in front of a mirror, one must first don an ensemble. Hi everyone, it's Lucy, and today we are going to rate some of the costumes and outfits from Bridgerton Season 3. So I thought it would bring great merriment to the channel by firstly me not continuing that bit, but we are going to go through Season 3 of Bridgerton episode by episode and rate some of the outfits that the characters wear in their times of silliness, and sexiness. So in great tradition of this channel, we will be doing a tier list.
But before I jump into it, I want to say a big thank you to this video's sponsor, Love and Pies.
I don't think you understand. I'm actually so genuinely hyped for this sponsorship. Okay, I have been playing for months. Okay, I've made some serious progress. Look, I'm level 28. I just got this pizza oven. So everyone please say thank you Trail Mix, because I'm the perfect person to talk about this game. Okay. The game is completely free to download, and during the move it has been the perfect little thing to just break up all of the stress and just relax and enjoy playing this cozy little game. So let me fill you in. Love and Pies is all about Amelia. She is a single mum and she's just inherited her mum's cafe. Except her mum has gone missing and the cafe has just been burned down in a mysterious fire. So it's up to you to rebuild the cafe and kind of figure out all the mysteries around the town, and there's a lot of gossip, okay, there's a lot of drama, and maybe there's even a little unexpected romance in there as well. So the aim is to match ingredients to make pies and other tasty treats which you then serve to your customers, and then you use those earnings to upgrade and decorate your cafe, and you can also choose like the style you'd like to decorate your cafe in. And on that, can I just say I am really impressed by the art style. It's giving high quality, it's giving premium, the color palette is, the diversity of the character design is. So if you're anything like me and you just crave that cute and cozy gameplay, then you can download Love and Pies for free on iOS and Android.
And for any of my audience who download Love and Pies within 1 week of this video dropping via the unique link below, if you play to day 3, you'll receive a super sweet gift via the in-game inbox.
I hope you love and enjoy it as much as I do. Thank you again so much to Love and Pies for supporting this channel.
And let's get back into Bridgerton.
I have my historically accurate laptop. So starting from the top, we of course have Diamond of the Season, because this is Bridgerton. Of course that is the top ranking. Then we have our second tier, which I have named Nicola Coughlan Interview. And this is because, of course, the beautiful Nicola Coughlan, who plays Penelope, who is the lead of Season 3, she's been doing a lot of press, and I feel like we can all agree that the whole thing is enjoyable.
Because I think women with like body type, women with perfect breasts.
But I think anything that goes here in this tier is a good time and we enjoy it. Then we have the middle tier, which I have named Colin Mewing. You know, it's not good. It's not bad. It's just something that's happening and we're aware of it. It's an acknowledgement of existence, you know? Like, oh, he's mewing again. Then the next tier down, we have Bridgerton Senior Beasting. So things that go in this tier, I would just describe as being a little unfortunate, bit sad, a little bit of a vibe killer. And then at the bottom, we have the tier Live. Or I suppose to be more accurate, it's Live. This tier name is taken from within the Shondaland cinematic universe. And this is where the EGOT winner, Viola Davis, in possibly one of the most iconic How to Get Away with murder scene. So heads up, spoiler for an episode that came out 7 years ago, where I don't really know how to, without context, basically Viola Davis is palpitating a newborn fetus on the ground with 2 fingers screaming, live. And she's like crying and it's really intense. And honestly, I just think about that moment of television a lot, and I really wanted a way to bring it up in a video, and this seemed like a good opportunity. Is this entire video just so I could bring this up? Who knows? Anyway, to tie it back in, this moment, this scene is really intense, really tragic and sad, but also like really absurd. And so I think I would use those same describing words for the worst outfits of this season. Absolutely seamless tie-in. So now that we have our system, let's jump into it. Episode 1 is where I feel, for me at least, I felt the most blindsided by the new costume direction. And I'm just gonna put it out there now, you know, before we really get into it. I'm not a period dress, like historical fashion stickler. I don't really care if it's accurate or like real to the time. I think it's admirable when it happens, and I like totally respect historical fashion as like its own interest, but in terms of in media, I don't think it's like a necessary thing. I think like the enjoyment or the overall artistic vision of the movie or TV show comes first. My personal opinion on historical accuracy, clap if you care. I think about certain Jane Austen adaptations, or Greta Gerwig's Little Women is a really great example of where it's like definitely set in a time period and there is a sense of historical dress, and it's not all 100% accurate, but that is in service of the characters and the story and like the larger creative work. And that's something I really enjoy about Bridgerton, like this fantasy Regency setting, or as I call it, yassified Regency. I don't really care if it plays by the rules of historical accuracy, but I do kind of want it to have its own set of rules or framework for it to kind of exist within. Does that make sense? So season 1, I really love the costumes in season 1. Season 2 had a different costume designer to season 1 from what I understand, but I really loved especially Kate and Edwina's looks. And now we're in season 3 and we have a new costume designer and things look different. And I feel like there are a lot of different things. So we have a lot to dive into with episode 1, because I feel like the debut of the new direction in terms of costume kind of just hits you like a carriage or a really slow moving balloon. Also, as a heads up, there are gonna be spoilers for season 3 because I feel costume design is often really like linked in with character moments. So you've been warned, okay? So episode 1, okay, the first looks we have are from the Featheringtons, that makes sense, and they are in chartreuse, okay? Classic Featherington move. And you know, so far, I feel like the Featheringtons are always the most garishly dressed, except for some other people this season who we'll get to. And are these like nice outfits? Not really, but I think they are very much classic Featherington outfits. So to me, I feel like this is very much Colin Mewing. It just is. Anyway, we know this is Penelope season. So before she kind of gets to have her really beautiful costume moments, they do put her in what I would describe as one of the more offensive Featherington looks ever. I just want to say that I think that Nicola Coughlan is very funny and smart and cool and obviously beautiful, stunning, gorgeous. Okay, I just want to get that on the record. But we do know that this dress is a bit fug. And it's meant to be. It's like character work. The dresses are canon fug in the show. So it's a good like character moment because we're going to kind of see how she progresses. So we have to see, you know, the origin. But it's also not like Colin Mewing, it's worse than that. So it's definitely Bridgerton beasting. And we want to be in that category so that we have room to move up. You might think, why isn't it in the bottom tier? Don't worry, there are worse outfits than this. I promise. Next up, we have the iconic Lady Danbury with the hat and cane combo, which we see multiple times throughout this season. I don't think anyone else in the show has the hat and cane combo, and it's just so cool. It's honestly the best feeling when you see her walk into a scene with the hat and the cane. She's one of my favorite characters, okay? Lady Danbury stands, rise up. She's just really serving, I was gonna use a particular word, but I would like for this video to be monetized, so she's serving. And just know that as we go forward, okay, I'm not going to cover every look, but know that Lady Danbury is never below Nicola Coughlan interview level. I hope you've all been enjoying my Regency inspired look, but I do need to put a cardigan on because it's like so cold. Now, this next look is a little bit out of left field, but this is where we see Penelope's nightgown. And I just want to say that I'm honestly kind of obsessed with it. We do see it in later episodes with like a different hair look. And that I think is like peak Penelope nightgown, but I honestly just really love this. And maybe I'm just like a pajama loungewear fiend, but I would wear this today. And you might think I'm a little wild for this, but I would place this nightgown look in Diamond of the Season. It's just so Bridgerton to me. Okay, it's beautiful. I'm obsessed. So next up we have this from Eloise. Eloise's looks this season are mostly like, you know, like that kind of vibe. I think you could potentially attribute it to her character arc because she's sort of trying to like fit in, I guess. You know, she's like laying low, she's spending time with the fashion tyrant of the Ton, Cressida. But this look, I don't really like it. And this is also where we see the introduction of the sheer like polyester organza shawl things that really run rampant this season. This one I would describe as one of the more inoffensive ones, so it can go in Colin Mewing. Okay, now of course we come to Penelope's kind of makeover moment, like her new me sort of look vibe. Okay, she has her full acrylic set on, she's ready to go, she's at the ball, we're at the top of the staircase, we're doing this like big reveal, and like, I don't really like it. Yeah, I feel like it's not really meant to be amazing. I have mixed feelings because some people are like, oh my God, like this is the big moment. She looks so good. But I kind of feel like, especially now having seen the whole season, that this is her kind of, you know, making an effort to sort of stand out, but it's not entirely authentic to her. Like it doesn't really suit her 100%. I don't know. Maybe I'm like reading into it too much, but I feel like it's not meant to be her best look, maybe. Yeah, I just feel like this one is Colin mewing to me. Like it's obviously not as like silly looking as the kind of Featherington outfits are, but I think it's not meant to be, you know, like this most amazing look because it's not really like her authentically. Because we kind of see plot-wise that people don't, you know, take her seriously or treat her differently just because she's changed her look. Also, quick moment on the hair. The 40s Hollywood vibe did kind of grow on me over the season. I do think each lead does get a glow up for their own season that is like less period dress-y than whatever other season they're in. You know, like removing Anthony's like sideburn mutton chops vibe. You know, we do see Penelope's look kind of change through the season, but the smoky eye with the full Hollywood wave isn't for me. I think it kind of like overwhelms her, but again, I think it's sort of meant to story-wise, I think, because they don't keep this look. She doesn't like settle on this look. So yeah. Then we have the demon of the season, Cressida. And the look in this episode is basically as mild as I feel like her looks get. They really only get worse. Maybe with the exception of a couple towards the end of the season, but this is like the most normal-ish that she looks the entire season. So considering that fact, I feel like it can go into Colin mewing because I feel like this level of outlandishness and weirdness is okay for her character. Also, I just want to say, I feel like it's not until way later in the season that really anyone addresses the fact that Cressida dresses kind of strangely. Whereas, you know, the Featheringtons kind of dress like out of trend or out of style for whatever the Mayfair trends are in the Bridgerton universe. But them wearing like kind of garish outfits is sort of acknowledged throughout the show. Whereas for ages, Cressida dresses like a District 1 Capital talk show host. And it's really only later acknowledged by her dad that she dresses like fashionably. And I feel like they could have acknowledged that her outfits are a bit weird a bit earlier. Because, you know, they're being like, ah, these like garish citrus colors that the Featheringtons wear, and she's fully like dressed like a mop. I don't know, it cracks me up. But this is one of the least offensive looks that she has. But don't worry, because shortly after we see Eloise and Cressida walking together wearing this, which is just, what's going on? Now, apparently Eloise's weird lilac muffler thing that she wears in this scene is because the actress had a cast on, I think, and they had to conceal it, so I get that. Do I think the faux fur muffler was the right choice? Who's to say? I don't know, it just really took me out. And then Cressida's wearing like a ruffly dressing gown that's like a coat with a wig. And this is meant to be like a casual-ish, like daytime, promenading in the park kind of vibe, and I think I hate it. It's weird. And I get that Eloise's outfits as a character are a little bit different from the other characters because she's not like the other girls. And I understand that as a character choice, but this one and the two of them together, like in this shot, it looks like a different show. It's so weird. So it wins the great honor of being the first entrant into the live category. I'm not gonna do it every time. And then to top off our first episode of the season, I do need to talk about the new Penelope look with the sage minty aqua dress. And I do like this a lot more than like her vampy, glamorous nighttime this is me reveal. The colors with her hair and the green and like the sheer embroidery, I think it's really pretty. I'm not obsessed with this particular iteration of the chiffon puff sleeve. There are a lot this season and some of them are better than others. This one, I wish they at least put a layer of the green fabric underneath because like the fully sheer puff sleeve gives very 2020s to me. But this overall is a solid look and I'm gonna put it in Nicola Coughlan interview. It is a little bit borderline Colin mewing, okay? Because I know kind of what comes later. But this is our first, I feel, kind of more true Penelope look. And it's cute and she looks cute and the makeup is fresh and it's good. So it goes in Nicola Coughlan interview. Okay, episode 2. I feel like episode 1 we had a lot to dive into, especially because it's the new season. We're kind of seeing the new color palette, the new direction for the entire season season, so we had a lot to kind of gnaw on and nibble on. But now we are getting another fresh Penelope look, and I also don't mind this Penelope look. I really like a black and pastel contrast moment. I think it's really pretty, and I would like this look a lot more if not for the weird sort of elements. Again, I feel like we are following Penelope in her kind of style journey to mirror her character journey, and I'm going to say that's why there's the weird applique on this, because it feels very like Featherington vibes to have like the weird applique on the dresses. But I don't know, maybe Penelope just likes weird extra applique. And also, I didn't notice this on my first watch, but as I was going back trying to, you know, make my notes for this video, I did see this really weird like ruffle thing on the back. I don't know what that's about, but it's weird. So like, I think this is a potential Nicola Coughlan interview level look, but I feel that it does sit in Colin Mewing. Also, I have to bring this look up because I feel Francesca has pretty consistent looks throughout her season, and she's a more introverted, kind of shy character, so her looks do feel more conservative, I guess you could say. But this one is so weird. I don't know, like the bows and the collar and the sheer applique organza vibe, it just feels really out of place, and it kind of struck me as like a preppy twee Korean fashion inspired piece you'd find on like Romwe or ASOS in the 2010s. And you know what? I was originally going to put this in Bridgerton Beasting because I was like, it's bad, but it's not that bad. But you know what? The more I look at it, the more I'm like, this is like a bottom tier moment. It's not good. And then it's made weirder by the fact that she's sitting next to Hyacinth, who's wearing what I would describe as a pretty typical, normal Bridgerton look. It's weird. Anyway, bottom tier. Then we have another Penelope look, which is just made so weird. I feel like me saying weird is like the theme of season 3 costume design questions. But it's made so weird by the shawl and the random necktie. What is going on? Because otherwise, other than that, I actually really like the dress. And obviously in the show, there are more kind of show-stopping, special costume moments, and this is meant to be more of like a daytime casual vibe. But I think, you know, those looks are also really important to the whole Bridgerton vibe, and like, what's going on? I feel like this could be a Nicola Coughlan interview level outfit, but it definitely goes in Colin Mewing. Now we have the sparkly sequin celestial ball. I don't remember the name of the ball exactly, but it's like the sparkly celestial themed one. Sequins and glitter and Bridgerton, I feel like many of the couples on the show have a complicated relationship, but I do enjoy seeing them in small doses in the show, done well. And I just wanted to mention Lady Bridgerton's look in this scene because I actually think it's really nice. I go back and forth on the cold shoulder moment for Violet Bridgerton. I have seen that some people don't like it because it is obviously a very modern choice, but I think because they mostly play kind of the same hits with Lady Bridgerton, and they're trying to, you know, show that she's like opening up a little bit as a character, and she's getting a little flirty, and she's like open to love. I don't mind the cold shoulder moment, okay? I don't think it's that outrageous. If you're trying to signal that a character is entering their like on the market MILF era, I think this is a fine costume design choice to mark that. And also just in general for the season, I think Violet Bridgerton looks really pretty a lot of the time and very glam, and I think they do a good job of her costumes this season. I think they look nice. So I'm putting this look in Nicola Coughlan interview. I also want to say that Eloise's ball look from this episode is also one of my favorite Eloise looks. It's kind of giving Audrey Hepburn vibes. I think it's also just because she's like the only person who has bangs, question mark. Does anyone else have bangs? Are bangs historically accurate? It doesn't matter. Either way, I think it's a good look for Eloise doing like a reluctant glam, because, you know, she's trying to fit in, and I think this is more of like, I guess I would say like an age appropriate or like a fashionable look for Eloise. I feel like if this was Eloise's season, this is kind of giving like a main character sort of moment. It's really pretty. I don't know if Eloise as a character is meant to like this look, but I think it's really nice, and I would put it in Diamond of the Season. I also think Penelope's look at this ball is really good. This like ball scene is a good time for me in the costumes. I love this dress. I think it's sparkly and it's special, but it's not weird looking, because I feel like later on we have some sparkly special dresses which are a bit weird looking. I hate to boil the costumes down to, is it weird or not? Because I feel like that's not really encompassing like the discussion, but I feel you kind of get what I mean in terms of like, it feels special and pretty and within the universe of the show. Yeah, I think this is great. I think this is an easy, is it Nicola Coughlan interview or is it Diamond of the Season? I think this is Nicola Coughlan interview because I feel like it gets better for Penelope. And then to cap off this episode, we have like sad Penelope looking out of the window in a different look, and she is sad. but she's also serving. The understated, undone hair, I know this one is not period accurate, but it doesn't really matter because it looks good. And it's pretty, and she's meant to be kind of inside, like moping. She's not fully done up. She's a little more disheveled. I mean, can you really call it disheveled? Because this is meant to be her kind of like sad moping vibe, but I look more disheveled than her in this look. But I think this is another easy Nicola Coughlan interview level look. It's beautiful. Start of episode 3, we are getting another casual Penelope look. And I think this one really stands out in the season because I think the casual, kind of more toned down looks really bring out how beautiful Penelope / Nicola Coughlan is. But I just love the colors of this look and the hair, and I think I could be wrong. Was this the promo look? I'm gonna look up the character promo look. Okay, no, I think this was one of the promo looks. That makes sense because it's beautiful, and I don't know if it's crazy, but I'm gonna put it in Diamond of the Season because I really like this look. I think it's beautiful. It's different in vibe to other seasons, but I think it still feels really Bridgerton. And I've said that I don't like the sheer sleeve, but I think if they're gonna do a sheer sleeve, I think this sheer sleeve is the sheer sleeve to do. Okay? And Eloise is also in this scene, and it's very Polin mewing. So then I need to bring this up, but we then have Penelope in the same dress, but now accessorized, and it's sort of bad. This ombre shawl makes me violent. I hate it. And the additional hair accessories, I think, only take away from the beauty of this look. There's a reason why they did the promo look without the accessories in like the former with the hair down. This isn't the promo look. This is not a Diamond of the Season look. I low-key, like, this is like the wearing versus styling trend, but the styling option looks worse. It's not bad enough to be in the bottom, but it is bad. It's Bridgerton beasting. And then, praise be, we have another good Eloise look. I hope you enjoy them because she has minimal wins throughout this season. And I am not an Eloise hater. I'm not an Eloise apologist, but I'm not an Eloise hater. But I'm gonna give her flowers here because I think this look is a very solid Nicola Coughlan interview level look. I don't remember the theme of what this ball is meant to be. I think it's meant to be also sparkly, but flowers and not stars. I'm not sure. I don't really like the plastic glass bead necklace thing she has on, but again, overall, I think it's solid. Then let's briefly touch on Penelope's look at this ball because she's sort of meant to be laying low at this ball, not drawing attention to herself. So it's like a little more understated compared to her recent looks. I think it's pretty nice, but it's also not like particularly memorable. I think it's not meant to be memorable. I think it's a solid Polin mewing moment. Actually, no, you know what? It's better than Polin mewing. This is actually a Nicola Coughlan interview moment. I realize it's meant to be like a more chill, like don't look at me kind of look, but she actually looks really nice. And I also know that there are some looks coming up that I don't like as much. So let's put that one there. Speaking of looks I don't like as much, it's balloon time. The balloon set piece is so silly. And this is Eloise's outfit to go balloon time. And this outfit is a bit silly. Like we have bows and then embroidery, but also pleated sleeves, but then also hair pearls and then a clear see-through bag. It's not, Bridgerton beasting. Then we have this Cresta look. Wow. A lot happening here. We've got colored hair and the circus tent shawl and then the arts and crafts sleeves. This is also Bridgerton beasting. I actually do think that there are worse Cresta looks, but no, this one is actually also pretty bad. I'm gonna put this in the bottom tier. This is live, live, live. This is bad. I will say, I do think we have another Nicola Coughlan interview moment for Eloise. I feel like this look feels really Eloise, but also looks good. Her character does like to wear these more sort of like suiting masculine details because like the patriarchy is still like a real thing in the Bridgerton universe. But you know, I think her outfits do tend to play with those elements more. And I don't want you to think that I just like it when Eloise is in more of like a stereotypically like pretty Bridgerton dress. I think this is like a really good outfit for her character. The skirt fabric is a bit weird, but overall, I think it's a good look for her. It goes in Nicola Coughlan interview. Then guess what? It's ball time again, and I specifically want to talk about Penelope's makeup in this look. I think the look overall is fine. It's okay. It's good, I guess. But we're also having Penelope's character trying to really like make an effort to impress Lord Debling. So then she has like rhinestones, like rhinestone eye makeup, like we're at Euphoria High. And I like the Euphoria makeup. I like a little rhinestone, I do, but it just feels so weird here because no one ever does it again. I don't think it's ever been done. It's never been done and no one's gonna do it again. It just happens here. And again, I just feel like it took me out. I'm not like a makeup purist. I'm not like, you know, the Pride and Prejudice adaptations where they're just doing like a little bit of like raspberry juice and like pinching the cheeks and like Vaseline. And you know, I think Bridgerton kind of has their interpretation of what like Bridgerton glam is like. You know, maybe it's like a really super soft shimmer and it's like a bit of dewiness and it's a bit of like a gloss. Like I think that is sort of what they've set up as being makeup on Bridgerton. And now we're sort of getting like bold smoky eye and like rhinestones, and I don't know, it just kind of takes me out a little bit. I think this look would have been Colin Mewing because I think it's just, you know, it just is, but the rhinestones bother me so much, so I'm gonna take it down to Bridgerton Beasting. And if you were like, whoa, Lucy, bit harsh, don't worry, all of that pales in comparison to this. What is this? Yeah, I can't be doing this. Obviously bottom tier. Then we come to episode 4, and I honestly just couldn't go past this Francesca look. I feel a little confused about Francesca's individual style, which it seems kind of Eloise in that it's a little bit like offbeat and different compared to other characters, seemingly. It's just that it's sort of like a statement-y look, and this is a character who has constantly told us that she just wants to fade into the background, and this isn't that. But also she is different from her siblings, and she's really like passionate about her interests and like kind of knows who she is, or is like kind of confident in the fact that she's different, or you know, she's not trying to be something different. Maybe it's more like mature and conservative looking because she's an old soul. I don't really know, but I do know that this outfit is a bit fug. It's actually really giving me free Margot Robbie from her Chanel contract vibes. Yeah, this is a Bridgerton Beasting for sure. Then I just need to briefly talk about Miss Mondrich. She gets some really cool looks this season. I think they really suit her character, and they're very like Bridgerton to me, Regency with a twist. Her looks are all quite like glam and very flattering to her, but I don't feel like they're too over the top. It's hard to get a shot of this particular look, but I really like it. If they are going to do like a printed fabric in Bridgerton, which is quite different for the show, I think this is the way to do it. And the neckline is a bit different as well, but I do feel like they kind of give the mums of the show, or like the older characters on the show, a little more leniency with the necklines. They tend to do this kind of like wider neckline. There's like sort of a consistency with that kind of choice to like mark more mature women in the show with this type of neckline. I don't know. I think it sort of works, and some people may disagree, but I actually think that this look is Nicola Coughlan interview level. Now we have what I would describe as another weird Penelope look. I think when they separated the season into 2 parts, doing part 1 and then a month later part 2, it sort of did a little bit of a disservice to the costume design, because I think that the costumes kind of start to turn a corner in part 2, but then we only really had part 1 to look at for a month. So we didn't have the later episodes contexts for where the journey was going. So for the time that we only had part 1, this was Penelope's new look. And looking back in kind of context of the entire season, I feel like these earlier episode looks are Penelope kind of trying out different styles and trying to find what feels like her, as she's sort of trying to not be, you know, a wallflower and sort of step into the light, as the show kind of puts it. Anyway, those sort of thoughts aside, I don't love this. As you can tell, I kind of go back and forth with the struggle with the puff sleeve, and this is one I like a bit less. This one honestly genuinely feels borderline like a modern dress from a brand like Selkie. And I think Selkie dresses are again very beautiful, but it just feels different to the somewhat period Regency inspired setting that Bridgerton is in. You know, when they introduce elements to the show like giant sheer puff sleeves with like little flowers and stuff, like it just feels like aggressively modern day to me. Plus she has another one of the stupid shawls. I really hate the shawls. I don't like them. I feel like they do some shawls in the show which are more like sheer embroidery that feel more Regency-ish, but these like plain or like, God forbid, the ombre colored ones, they don't. They're a different vibe totally. Like they're so puffy and ugh. And I feel like she's kind of giving Disney live action here. Like she looks pretty, but it feels weird in this show. Honestly, Bridgerton Beasting. You know what, this one is obviously still bad, but like less bad for her, I guess. You have to acknowledge Cressida's own scale that she exists on. Like, for Cressida, it's less bad, but it's still Bridgerton beasting bad. Okay, this is like a super brief Penelope look in this episode, but I feel like it's totally gorgeous. The hair, the dress, the colors, I feel like this is really Bridgerton to me. I also prefer this kind of hairstyle that she has to the more like Hollywood glam wave. I get again that this is like a daytime look and not like her nighttime glam, but it's so good. I feel like this is that nice, like semi-rooted in Regency fantasy, yassified Regency, whatever you want to call it, like Bridgerton vibe. This is diamond of the season to me. It's so, so good. Brief moment to talk about this wig that the Queen wears. As a piece of like costume design / prop work, it's very cool. It is weird in universe though. I get that we now have like hot air balloons and we're doing like technology vibes, but I don't. I haven't talked a lot about the Queen's looks, and I've skipped over a lot of other characters too, and all of the men, because I don't really feel like they stick out to me. And I also had to make some editing choices to keep this a somewhat controlled yapathon. But yeah, I do like some of the Queen's looks. I think she's obviously a very different vibe to the rest of the cast because she's the Queen. I did like some of the earlier wigs from the season. I thought they were really cool, but this one feels a little silly. I don't know. I just wanted to mention it because I feel like if I didn't mention the swan wig, people will be like, why didn't you talk about the swan wig? Because I feel like it kind of made the rounds as like a little bit of a news story of like how long they worked on the swan wig and like really wanted it to be in the show. And again, it is a really cool piece of craftsmanship from the people who made it. I just don't know if it provides a service to like the show or the character. It's just cool as an idea. So I would probably rate this as a Bridgerton beasting. And that is not to say anything about the skill or the craftsmanship that it takes to make any of the props or costumes or the hair and makeup on this show. That goes for across the board. Anyway, moving on. Lady Tilly Arnold. I haven't really spoken much about her because I haven't. But I do think her looks do work well for her character. She is a little bit older compared to our mostly young adult cast. She's more mature, she's widowed, she's wearing like the darker colors and she's doing like the velvets and like the rich, like silky kind of vibes. Her looks are mostly somewhat consistent and I think she looks good. This is Colin Mewing. This one, I think, is probably one of the, if not the worst look of the season. I just hate so much of it. When this popped up on my screen for the first time, I made an audible noise. And I get it, we're not meant to like Cressida. And I get that she's sort of the antagonist, I guess, of the season. But like the sleeves, the hair, the necklace. The necklace is so something that I would find at like a pop culture convention's artist alley in like 2013. Like, I'm not being derogatory, I'm just saying that is a genuine thing I would see on Etsy. Like the pink glitter and the cameos, like what is going on? The like puffs of hair? You know what, no, I am actually impressed that they came up with this because it's like so horrifying and spooky. I'm just as impressed with this outfit as I am for the creative team behind How to Get Away with Murder when they did the Live, Live, Live scene, because this obviously goes into Live, Live, Live. Then we have Penelope's look at this ball, which is not my favorite. I think this sequin fabric feels a little like costumey to me. And I get that they're all costumes because it's a TV show and it's not real, but you know what I mean? It feels a little costumey. And the hair is kind of cute, but we're also going to the Cressida school of little spiky bits, so I don't know. I think it's between Colin Mewing and Bridgerton beasting, but then towards the end of this episode, she does make some very special memories in this dress. So I guess it's Colin Mewing. And Colin doing other things. And Pitbull. Episode 5. Big shout out to Colin and Penelope for having an amazing consensual time. I'm going on the record that saying I am pro horny activity in media, especially if it is like this. This is not an outfit because they're not really wearing outfits, but you know what? It can go on the ranking. This scene can go in the diamond tier. Now, from one excellent moment to another, I have to talk about Kate's amazing dress in this episode. I'm not 100% sure what the exact inspirations were for this dress, but it seems like it's inspired by maybe a sari or other traditional Indian dress, and it's so gorgeous. I would say this easily goes into the top 5 looks of the entire season. It's such a standout moment, and I'm sad we don't get to see the dress for longer because I think it's just so beautiful. I think this is an easy diamond of the season. Also, a really brief look from Mrs. Mondrich. She has another patterned moment, and it's this really pretty like pink pattern, and I think she just looks really good. We don't see a lot of this outfit, but it's really pretty, and I feel like it's an easy Nicola Coughlan interview moment. Then we have Penelope's engagement party look, and the dress is actually really pretty, okay? The dress is like Nicola Coughlan interview level pretty, potentially even diamond of the season level pretty, I would say. But the bow hair clip, the bow hair clip alone brings it down to Colin mewing. We're not like Cressida Etsy necklace level quite yet, but we are rapidly approaching that destination. Like, I just don't know why? Are they trying to get screenshots from this episode, SEO ranking on Pinterest for like coquette inspired hair looks? What's going on? I hate to quote like fashion rules, but you know that like Coco Chanel, like before you go out of the house, like look in the mirror and take one thing off. I think that applies, and the one thing that should be taken off is the bow hair clip. It's weird. And I also think it's the fact that it's like a glittery, like hard, resiny sort of vibe. If it was just like a ribbon or something like that, I'd be like, okay, ribbon, but it's not. It's weirder than that. I don't like it. Why? And don't get me started. It's really hard to be like as bad as the worst Cressida look, but this one's also really bad. Yeah, you know what? This one is also bottom tier. I really don't like the hair bow. It's like evil in just like the general sense, like not in universe evil, like it's just evil. And those sleeves, like with that fabric, it truly looks like she's traveled across the multiverse to like get to this episode. Hate it. I feel like as we go on throughout the episodes, there's less frequent costume changes because they're kind of, you know, focusing in on these more important pivotal moments, which is good for me because as I have been filming this video, I realized that I also have to edit it. So, yup. So to me, the first dress in episode 6 that I feel compelled to talk about is Eloise's feather dress. It kind of goes off. It's giving Muppet Couture. I kind of like it, but it's also like quite different for the show, but also different for Eloise. Is it Nicola Coughlan interview or is it Colin mewing? I think it's Nicola Coughlan interview. I think it's good. It's a bit out there, but I kind of feel like Eloise can pull it off because she's sort of been shown to have like a little bit more of like an eccentric taste with her looks. I don't know. I kind of like it. It's fun. Also, Alice's look at the ball, the whole thing, the dress with the hair and the jewelry, I just feel like it's so good. Borderline diamond of the season, but it is Nicola Coughlan interview. It's beautiful. I also just wanted to make this remark, but it looks like they're dancing around a Dalek. I know that it, you know, we do like a reveal with the centerpiece, but it just looks silly. The season has some funny set pieces. It's giving balloon time. It's funny. Then we have Cressida back again, being cartoonishly evil. And this, on the scale of Cressida, is kind of a slay for her. Like, monochromatic is crazy for her, but in kind of a good way, I think. I think it's Colin mewing level, which looking at it feels ridiculous, but honestly, I do think this is her big, like, semi-triumph before she flops multiple times again. Let's just let her have her one moment because honestly, her character arc is kind of sad. Like the story is basically like Cressida's circumstances are sad and she's nice for a bit, but she's also dumb and then she's mean and so she deserves it. Which is like, ugh. Yikes. So congratulations Cressida on this less offensive outfit. It's wedding time, baby. Time for the wedding looks. I just want to say that I think that Penelope's wedding corset is so cute. I love a little Regency vibes corset moment. Actually going back, I thought this was the first time we see this like lingerie corset moment, but I do think it is actually the same one as in an earlier scene where she's getting undressed, but there's like a lot of other things happening, so I didn't totally notice it. But I wanted to rank this as Nicola Coughlan interview because I think it's pretty and special and I like it, and it's my video. Then we have the wedding dress, and I think the wedding dress is really pretty, I guess. That doesn't sound very confident. I really like the color, and I think the overall vibe is very, you know, understated and like ingenue vibes, demure, very Bridgerton main lead, girly pop vibe. But I feel like what is the standout in this look is the makeup. The more kind of understated, classic, but glam vibe for Penelope is so good. And it's kind of what I wanted for her more glam dressed up moments for the entire season. But also I get that they are taking us on that journey with Penelope's hair and makeup being part of that whole character transformation vibe. So we're here now and I'm happy to see it, yay. And overall, I think I will put it in Nicola Coughlan interview because I think she looks really pretty and I think it's a good look, but it's not like one of my favorites. And I feel like Diamond of the Season is the Queen's favorite. And I'm the queen of my own video, question mark. I don't know, making my own videos is more of like a dictatorship than like a monarchy vibe. Also, again, I don't really mention the Featheringtons because I don't know, as like wacky and weird as their costumes are, they're kind of like consistently the same level of wacky and weird, I guess. And it's not weird in the same way that I think Cressida's are weird. And maybe I'm wrong for that, but that's just how I feel. Lady Featherington and the two sisters kind of always look a bit odd, but in this particular scene, in the wedding scene, Philippa's hair is from the Cressida school of weird. Like, what is going on? Live, live, lived here. So weird. And again, it like took me out of the moment because I was like, you know, watching and I was like, oh my God, wedding. And then I was like, what is that? But it's okay because we get another beautiful Kate Sharma look. The outfit is really gorgeous, but I feel like the makeup and also the hair in this particular scene are really top tier. And I think this is another Diamond of the Season moment for Kate. And it's not even her season. Okay, final episode. We are nearly at the end. I don't know if it's Stockholm syndrome, but I feel like by the time the finale episode rolled around, I felt less confronted by the more out there elements of the costumes this season than I did in episode 1. And I'm not like 100% on board with everything about that vibe, but I do feel like the vibe was somewhat kept consistent throughout the season. So like, I guess I understand what the new vibe is. And also I feel like seeing Penelope's journey, I feel like I get it more. And look what we have here. It's a somewhat normal-ish Cressida outfit. What a treat. I think this is meant to be her like kind of knocked down a peg. You know, in this scene, she's confined to her room. She's sort of backed into a corner. The sleeves, the hair, it's all a little bit smaller. But don't worry because we have a early 2000s animated Barbie movie amount of sparkles to make up for that. And it feels more similar to her outfits from previous seasons, which again, in previous seasons, I feel like Cressida did dress a bit more out there and looked a little bit silly, but it was like a more in-universe reasonable level of silly. Anyway. A Colin mewing moment, to be sure. Next up, we have Penelope's first casual look after the wedding. And characters in Bridgerton tend to like change their vibe a little bit once they're married, I feel. Which I feel, again, is taking that historical dress cue from the difference between how women were dressed before and after they were married. And I feel like that did kind of happen in previous seasons as well. Don't mind the screenshot. I feel like this look was a little bit hard to grab because she's just generally a bit distressed while she's wearing this look. But the look is so pretty. This episode is like final evolution Penelope because I think the look after this is like her final look, unless you count the flash forward, which I don't. I think it's her best look. Or is it Nicola Coughlan interview? No, I think this is Diamond here. Yeah, it's Diamond here. Why not? Now we have another wedding. It's Francesca's wedding dress. And to be honest, I actually really like it for her character and where she's sort of at in her own story and the vibe. It feels very vintage inspired, which obviously this is like a period show, but do you know what I mean? It feels like a vintage even within the universe of Bridgerton. It feels like a little more old school compared to some of the other wedding dresses we've seen in the show. And again, she is a more conservative character who we come to realize later this episode is still very much discovering herself. I do wonder if in future seasons her style will shift and change in sort of a way like Penelope's has in this season, especially with the kind of character development that I think we get sort of a little bit at the end of this episode and is hinting at what might happen in future seasons. I don't know, we'll see. And guess who's back? It's Lady Tilly, a woman of science and sexuality, and she actually is a pretty cool character. I really like the look that she wears in this kind of final scene that she's in. It's a little bit hard to capture, but it's sort of like a lingerie robe slash like play suit vibe, like she's wearing little shorts, I think. I thought maybe her falling for Benedict would feel a bit lame, but I feel like they actually handle the interaction between these two characters in like a nice, mature way, which makes sense because she's really only shown herself to be like a nice, mature woman. I think this look is giving Nicola Coughlan interview level, and now everyone please say thank you to Lady Tilly because I believe she is now just out of the show. Bye. Okay, the final ball, the bug ball, as I call it. Okay, before we talk about the looks of the bug ball, I really need to talk about the bug ball reveal with the butterflies. Did anyone else immediately think of, sorry, this is a little bit off topic, did anyone else immediately think of the Asia O'Hare butterfly reveal from RuPaul's Drag Race. Like when she revealed the butterflies, but they were immobile and like dirt. Anyway, the line, "Varley, now, release the bugs," is such a good time. So funny and silly. Okay, Penelope's big moment reveal. It's giving similar vibes to the sequin one a few episodes ago that I didn't really like. It's like the same fabric, but like more sparkly, but it doesn't look much better. Like Penelope is in this scene, I also am going to be brave and say that I don't really like it. I think she looks gorgeous, okay? She does look beautiful, but I do not like this look compared to the other ones. The little fingerless gloves, the red lip is also like, have we ever seen like a bold red lip on Bridgerton? I'm not saying there can't be one. It just feels weird. I just think it's going in Bridgerton bee sting vibes for me. It's a little sad vibes. And so, my dearest gentle viewers, that concludes our chaotic ranking tier list of Bridgerton season 3 outfits / costumes. Like I have hinted at previously, obviously everyone on this show, from actors to costume designers, hair and makeup artists, production designers, is incredibly talented. Obviously they are very skilled at making and doing what they do, and this is just a little bit of silly fun. You can probably tell from my enthusiasm, but I am like a big fan and enjoyer of the show, and I do really look forward to future seasons. So let me know if you enjoyed the silly vibes in this video, and if you would like to see more of this silliness, whether it's fashion or makeup or skincare or the pursuit of tasty little treats, then please do consider subscribing to my channel. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!